Greg, the sign guy.
Good morning, how are you?
Great. So I've got some patients that have actually reached out to me, and people in the community that drive by the office, and they see you out on the corner. And I actually get phone calls that are like, your sign guy's the best. I mean, that's all they call me for. They'll call a scheduled appointment, like, your sign guy's the best. And somebody actually walked by my house last weekend and said, hey, I know you got the sign guy down on the corner. I want to know more about this guy. What makes him tick? What's his favorite choices of music that you listen to? Like, what do they call that? Your like music string that you
The playlist?
Yeah, so they want to know your playlist of what makes you tick on that corner.
Mostly 80s. 80s is probably the best genre of music in any style, be it country or rock or anything, because it's more upbeat. Use a lot of synthesizers and drums, and it's just easier to dance to.
So when you're out there, now I gotta say, because when we're sitting here, you're just this nice, normal guy, but when you get out there, you are like in a zone. It's like you're playing a part. I don't know. What do you do with your headspace when you're out there?
Well, like I said, yeah, it is. It's a lot like acting. Pretty much, you just have to fall into the music. I use the term embrace the madness.
Okay.
Just get into the emotions of the music and just listen to the lyrics and embrace the music and let it flow through you, because really music is life. And after I was diagnosed bipolar, that was my way of controlling the moods. And so definitely it's the music that inspires the dance, and once you learn to embrace that and let go and not care what anybody thinks, it makes it for a much better performance.
So it's not only work that pays the bills, it's almost like therapy for you then.
Oh, yeah, it definitely is therapy. If I go too long without dancing, I tend to get a little crazier in the head, so it is definitely good therapy.
What got you into this in the first place?
Kind of that, yeah, with being diagnosed bipolar when I was 31, it was, 7 years ago, my wife at the time lasted 4 months and left me, and I had no other outlet. I had lost everything. I even lost my medical because it was through her, so I had no way of taking my meds or going to counseling, which was in Utah County, because we lived in Utah County, and I got stranded up here in Salt Lake. So I used music to control my moods, and this was also during the recession, the aftermath. Even companies like Domino's were suffering. We were struggling. We were door tagging everybody just to get people to come back, trying to get anything to come in. And I would usually listen to my music while washing dishes, but I can't listen to music and not move. It's impossible for me to do that. I just been dancing since I was very young. So my boss at the time, Anthony, says, I'm going to put you in the street corner next week with a sign. We're going to see what that does. And I don't know. From the first time I did, I got excited. I was a little worried because, how people are. I even wore sunglasses for like a year because nobody knew who I was. Like a big joke. Who's your sign guy? I'm like, I don't know, but he's crazy, isn't he? So yeah, they put me out in the street corner, and it just exploded from there. I mean, everyone was commenting. Our store became the busiest, #1 in the valley, and people kept offering me jobs. It was just crazy.
That's what I think is pretty miraculous. Is I don't know if you actually go apply for stuff. I think people see you, the magic that you have on the corner, and they stop and go, hey, I want you to work at my store. I want you to help my business grow, because that's what I did. That's how I found you. I mean, he was working on the corner doing his magic, letting that music flow through him, busting out all these dance moves, and I'm like, I got to have that guy. Matter of fact, my wife told me, I got to hire this guy. That's how good he is. So that's a tribute to you. That's awesome.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Like I said, I mean, everyone asks me, says, do you look for these jobs, or how do you get hired? I'm like, no. Every job I've had, someone has approached me with an opportunity. And they really are opportunities. I've been able to work for a lot of great companies, a lot of great people, most of which I fully endorse. And it's got me a lot of exposure, And I have to do parades and festivals and other such events. It's been great.
That's awesome. Yeah, what I find a testament to what Randy does is one of my peers and coaches, Craig Duswalt. He runs Craig Duswalt Rockstar Marketing, and he talks about how he got hired on with Guns N' Roses and with Air Supply. And one of his things that he did was when he was working a job, even when it was just the peon job, he always performed at his best because you never know who's watching. And Randy is out there just knocking it out, and people from all over town see him and they want him to work at their office and build their office. So to me, that is like the perfect example of always being your best wherever you are. And hands down, he has evolved to being the best sign guy in the state of Utah. So kudos to you. Thanks for being with us today.
Well, thank you. Yes, I'm glad to be here. And like I said, that's a good point. I was going to mention that too. I mean, if it's not worth putting your all into it, it's not worth doing it.